Welcome to PWS United, a podcast for the Prader-Willi syndrome community, brought to you by PWSA USA. This podcast gives the latest news in research, advocacy, and family support by bringing together staff, volunteers, PWS treatment specialists, biotech and pharmaceutical representatives, caregivers, family members, and individuals with PWS. Our goal is to share education, awareness, and resources with those living with PWS and their supporters. Join us in our mission to enhance the quality of life and empower those affected by Prader-Willi syndrome.
Well, welcome back to work, Carrie, after your exciting ski trip.
It was exciting. That is the word for it. I would also use the word exhausting. It's one of those vacations where you immediately want a vacation from the vacation when you get back. So I'm a little slower today, so I apologize if I stumble over some words or lose my train of thought, but I'm here and I'm happy to be back. So yeah, it was a good trip though. Thank you.
Good. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're back, but I'm glad you had a good time at the trip. For anybody wondering if I sound a little different, I don't have my microphone. I screwed up. I apologize, but hopefully it sounds okay.
I think it does. And you're out with your goats, and that's the most important thing.
Yes, it is.
Annie has some pet goats. I also want people to know that.
And chickens and dogs.
Yeah, the
and
goats
cats.
aren't alone, but
The goats aren't alone, but we've been going on some really awesome hikes with the goats and the dogs, me and my girls. So that's been really nice. Just some beautiful, incredible views, like big giant rocks coming out of the river and the goats climbing all over them.
Cute.
That's fun. I love it.
That sounds amazing. I know when I was out there, I was in actually Park City, Utah, near Salt Lake, and I have never seen mountains that big, and it was the most just perfect escape, fresh air thing that I didn't know I needed. And so I can completely, after that trip, relate to just like being outside among nature and having a very big appreciation for your surroundings. So in Ohio, it's beautiful here too. We live by the national park, which is great, but it's very dreary and very cold right now. So I haven't felt that way for a little bit. So the trip was actually really helpful to bring me back to that feeling of just calm and ease and one with nature. So
Yeah, I love it. Having grown up in the Midwest in Indiana, when I was 19, I went traveling around the country, and I remember the first time seeing the Rockies and just like, I couldn't comprehend it at first. Seeing them on the horizon, I was like, oh my God, those are mountains? Wait, what?
It
Blew my
did
mind.
look like a digital rendering or something. We kept saying that a few times. So we're like, that can't be real. Is it real? What? It's just mind-blowing. Every day we woke up and saw them. So I highly suggest a trip out to Utah for anybody who hasn't and has the ability to do so. It was my first time out there, so I will definitely go back. Yeah.
Well, good. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into the Pulse this week. This is volume 117 from February 21st, 2025. So it came out last Friday. And this is for Rare Disease Day, which is coming up. But before we get into it, we did put out a message last week that we felt important to share, make sure everybody sees this message. And the message is that with any new administration, there are changes to policy and agency staff at all levels. As things unfold with the new administration, rest assured that PWSA will continue to be an organization that supports and advocates for our community. Our staff, volunteers, and advocates are working together to understand how potential changes on the federal level may impact the PWS community. We will share information and advocacy opportunities as we learn of them, and will continue to be a strong voice for the PWS community. We will help you to navigate these changes and share your voice, and we will continue to partner with other advocacy groups in the rare disease space. PWSA USA supports all families in the PWS community and will continue to do so. On to Rare Disease Day. So, like I said, Friday, February 28th is Rare Disease Day, and we encourage the PWS community to spread awareness far and wide on and leading up to this important day. So to help you get started, we have created a Rare Disease Day hub on our website. And we'll have links in the show notes to help you find several ways that you can participate in Rare Disease Day. So some of those highlights are downloading our awareness toolkit with exclusive PWS-specific social media graphics, advocacy tips, and creative ways to get involved. You can also learn why Rare Disease Day matters and how PWS compares to other rare conditions. And you can find out why zebras are the official symbol of the rare disease community and how you can show your stripes. You can learn how to support PWSA to ensure families impacted by PWS have a strong, united voice for the next 50 years. And you can host a Rare Disease Day fundraiser on our PWS Hope United website, and that's been made really simple if you are interested in doing that. So we really look forward to celebrating Rare Disease Day even more on our social media pages and in our special edition pulse at the end of this month. So that will be this Friday. So be on the lookout for exciting updates from Capitol Hill as our staff and volunteer advocates participate in Every Life Foundation's Rare Disease Week. One more thing about Rare Disease Week. This is from Every Life. So from February 24th through the 26th, hundreds of advocates from across the country will gather in Washington, D.C., and you can join them virtually to learn about the policy priorities affecting the rare disease community during the Legislative Conference and Rare Disease Congressional Caucus Briefing. And you can watch 4 featured documentaries that showcase powerful rare disease stories. So there will be a link to that in our show notes. You can do some live streaming, you can watch some documentaries, and just kind of be even more involved in Rare Disease Week.
I love that they offer that opportunity for people who can't necessarily make it to Washington or, don't have the means to get there. So they provide this great online tool that you can still participate in different ways and at least see what's going on. So we appreciate Every Life for not only hosting this amazing event that happens yearly, but for bringing us in for those who are here at home like us, Annie.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for those who would like to participate, we will have the asks that our advocates are bringing to their representatives. And we're going to put those out along with the link to how you can find your representative, their contact information. And so this week or on Tuesday or Wednesday, I think Wednesday is the day they're having their meetings. I think it would be really cool if those of us who couldn't go to DC call our representatives, email them with your method of choice, and get in touch with your representative to share these asks that our advocates are in DC asking for. So I think that could be a really cool way for people to participate in Rare Disease Week, even if they're not in DC. So we're going to move on to our Spotlight on Hope. And this one was really sweet. Jenna is a teenager from New Mexico living with PWS, and she earned a prestigious Girl Scout award, actually the most prestigious Girl Scout award, and a spot on her local news network. So the Girl Scouts Gold Award is the highest achievement in Girl Scouts and recognizes members who have found solutions to issues in their neighborhood and beyond. Jenna earned her award for a video tutorial she made demonstrating how she makes rubber band bracelets. She made this tutorial for other individuals living with PWS to learn how. According to Jenna, quote, "It's a fidget and it gives people hand strength and gives them peace and comfort, and it kind of helps them to focus." So we will have a link to the newscast in our show notes. You can watch it there. And we just want to say congratulations, Jenna. And I also want to say that Freya absolutely loves making these bracelets. So totally connected on that level.
That's amazing. What a great story and what a huge accomplishment. I love seeing this. Oh my goodness. And it's something like that all of, our loved ones with PWS need in their life. So she's just bringing something that she naturally does and needs to do for herself into the bigger Girl Scout world and now beyond. So it's wonderful to see her using her strengths and sharing them. All right, moving on now to some events and fundraisers, some of which many of our listeners have heard a lot about by now, but we have different asks for most of them. Or some different details to share at least. So the first one is our 2025 International PWS Conference, and we are putting a huge request out there to have those listening, those in our community, to share a photo of your loved one living with PWS for our special conference mural. So we're creating a one-of-a-kind PWS community mural for the 2025 International Conference, and we need your photos to bring it to life. This mural will be the ultimate photo op spot, and a powerful tribute to the incredible individuals living with PWS. Whether you're attending the conference or not, you can still be part of this special piece by submitting your favorite photos of your loved one living with PWS. There is no limit on the amount of photos you share. Please share as many as you'd like. We encourage you to submit your photos as soon as you can through our official form, which can be found at the link in our show notes. So let's make this mural a beautiful reflection of the PWS community's strength, love, and unity. And we just appreciate everybody for being part of this unforgettable project and can't wait to display it. And for those who are not going to be attending the conference to see the mural in person, we will, of course, share the main, digital graphic of it on our social media pages, in our Pulse newsletter. You will definitely see it if you cannot attend. So whether you're going or not, please submit photos. And then just as a reminder, the International PWS Conference is taking place June 24th through 28th, 2025. There is still plenty of time to register. However, a reminder that early bird pricing does end on March 31st. That is getting close to a month away. So we encourage you to book early and get some savings. And we also have a conference resort update. So rooms on Thursday, June 26th are now completely sold out. We are not unfortunately able to add any more to that date. So if you don't have a room at the Arizona Grand Resort and Spa on that Thursday and need one, we do have a hotel locator website that was designed specifically for 2025 conference attendees. So for those needing accommodations, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, there are still rooms available at the Arizona Grand Resort and Spa, but they are filling up very fast. So if you'd like to stay on site, we encourage you to book as soon as possible. You can make your reservation by visiting the link in our show notes. And while you're welcome to stay at any of the hotels listed on the locator or find alternative lodging in the Phoenix area, please note that you'll be responsible for arranging transportation to and from the Arizona Grand Resort and Spa for all conference sessions. We cannot wait to see everyone in Phoenix so soon. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at info@pwsausa.org or by calling 941-312-0400, and we will have all of the hotel links in our show notes as well. And a quick conference spotlight for the week. This one says, Sierra is a 30-year-old, happy, fun, energetic person. She has a great sense of humor and loves animals and children. Sierra loves any new opportunity to meet new people. She will be attending her first PWS conference this year in Phoenix, Arizona, and she has already packed her swimsuit and is ready for the water park. We love that
I
so
love that
much.
so much.
And
So
we want
cool.
to, yeah, I know. We want to thank Mary Lesser, who is mom to Sierra, for submitting that and allowing us to share so we can get everyone else excited for the conference as well to go to that water park. It's awesome. And finally, for this section, we want to thank our 2025 conference sponsors, our diamond sponsor, Aardvark Therapeutics, our platinum sponsors, Soleno Therapeutics and Harmony Biosciences, our gold sponsor, Acadia Pharmaceuticals, and our star sponsor, Consonance Therapeutics. Thank you to all of our incredible sponsors for being partners on this event. And if you're interested in becoming a sponsor for the conference this summer, we will have a link in the show notes for that as well. So moving on now to our very anticipated 50th anniversary Journey of Hope Gala. We cannot wait for this event, and we are so excited to share that our tickets and sponsorship website is now available. It's live. It's ready for you to go and check it out and get your tickets. So the event, the gala, is happening Friday, September 26th at the Ritz-Carlton in St. Louis, Missouri, and it will be starting at 6 p.m. and ending at 11 p.m. So you are all invited to join us to celebrate, again, our 50th anniversary celebration gala, Journey of Hope. The special evening will honor the incredible progress we've made together while celebrating the people who have shaped our journey over the past 5 decades. And we want to make sure to note the initial email invitation that went out last week had the wrong RSVP date. So we want to make sure everyone listening knows exactly when that RSVP date is. It is September 1st, 2025. So please go purchase your tickets before then. And we just really can't wait to celebrate 50 years of PWSA USA with everybody. Moving on now to a new listening sessions series titled Equity and Prader-Willi Syndrome. So the BIPOC Prader-Willi Syndrome Affinity Group is hosting listening sessions for Black, Indigenous, and/or people of color who have been impacted by Prader-Willi syndrome and would like to create a more equitable Prader-Willi syndrome community. They want to learn about your challenges, successes, and needs to shape their efforts. There are 4 sessions in March, and all are virtual. If you're only able to come to one, that's completely okay. We would just like to hear from you. We hope you will join at one or more of these sessions, and here are the dates and times. The first one is March 4th, that's a Tuesday, at 12 p.m. Eastern, and that focus will be on ages 0 to 12. Then March 13th, which is a Thursday, at 7 p.m. Eastern, and that focus is again on ages 0 to 12. Then March 20th, another Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern with a focus on ages 13 and up. And finally, March 25th, that's a Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern with a focus again on ages 13 and up. And we want to give a big thank you to Acadia Pharmaceuticals and Soleno Therapeutics for sponsoring these sessions. And you can find a registration link in our show notes. Next up is the 11th annual Clint Hurdle Hot Stove Dinner, which is a little less than a month away now, which is so incredibly wild to me, Annie, that we're going to be in March that quickly. But we encourage everyone who has not done so yet to get your tickets now so you don't miss this incredible event supporting PWSA USA's family programs and services. Clint and Carla Hurdle will once again host the Hot Stove Dinner on March 22nd, 2025 at the Bradenton Country Club in Bradenton, Florida. Again, for an unforgettable evening featuring dinner, live entertainment, raffle prizes, and the always anticipated coconut golf ball drop. If you can't make it, you can still attend virtually, which will be a very exciting event as well. And even if you can't join the event in person or virtually, you can still take part in all of the excitement by bidding in the auction, which is now open. And there's just an amazing selection of these items. And some of the highlights include Apple AirPods Pro 2, Jimmy Choo designer sunglasses, which I really want to bid on and probably will, a Henry Golden Boy rifle, a Mario Lemieux signed helmet, and even an autographed book by Taylor Swift. So we encourage you again to go visit the link in our show notes to start bidding, purchase raffle tickets, and grab your coconut golf ball drop entries. Do not wait to be part of this special night and help make a difference.
So I just want to say, as an aside,
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to understand what the coconut golf ball drop is, something that I've seen around here, which just shows kind of like the difference in class from where I live
Oh.
versus where this is. But like,
Mm-hmm.
what we've had here is like a chicken drop, but it's like
Oh.
obviously there's does not involve a helicopter, but it's like a gridded little pen or big
Uh-huh.
pen, and then there's a chicken in there, and then it's like chicken poop bingo.
Oh
And then
my
it's like
gosh.
you bet on where the chicken's gonna drop her droppings. So so is it like that? But it's like
Golf
golf
balls?
balls dropped
So
from a coconut or from a
a helicopter.
helicopter?
So they have like a bucket of balls. They all have numbers on them, and the number corresponds to the number that you get when you purchase your golf ball. So the bucket drops out of the helicopter and they land on like the green of one of
Uh-huh.
the holes near the tent. And I believe the closest golf ball to the pin or the one in the hole is the
Okay.
winner. So
Okay.
they'll like pick up that golf ball, it'll be the number, and then if it's your number, you win. And there is
Cool.
an awesome prize too.
Okay, so it's not like the chicken poo bingo, but, sounds very exciting. I might get a
Yeah,
golf ball.
that the chicken thing threw me, and yeah, I was like, I don't think this is similar.
I'm sorry.
Oh gosh,
Different
okay.
worlds.
Different worlds.
Different worlds. It's pretty funny to watch a crowd of people watching a
Like,
chicken
cheering on their chickens to
cheering on a
poop
chicken.
somewhere. Oh, you have some fun stories, Annie. I love it. Oh boy. Okay, so we digress. I know we already talked a little bit about Rare Disease Day, in this episode, but I also want to share a different way that people can get involved with Rare Disease Day. So, Rare Disease Day, as we all know, is a powerful opportunity to raise awareness and support for the PWS community. And here's a new way to be a part of it. We invite you all to host a Rare Disease Day fundraiser on our PWS Hope United website. It is quick, easy, and incredibly meaningful. Whether big or small, your efforts will help fund critical programs and services for individuals and families affected by Prader-Willi syndrome. And getting started is very simple. You visit our Hope United website, which can be found at the link in our show notes, and you'll find, if you scroll down on the page a bit, the Rare Disease Day fundraiser option. So you'll just click fundraise in the Rare Disease Day box. You'll see a beautiful picture of a zebra and follow the easy steps to set up your page. So then you'll share your fundraiser with your friends and family and your network to rally support for PWSA USA. You can either send the link to your page on your social media or send out an email, whatever best way to get the word out that makes sense to you. And then every dollar raised fuels hope, support, and advocacy for the PWS community. If you have questions, we are here to help. You can email us at hopeunited@pwsausa.org.
So we're going to move on to advocacy, and our first bit of advocacy is a call to action to our PWS community and beyond. You can send this out to anybody and everybody. We're asking everybody to sign on to this letter, and this letter is to save our clinical trials. So PWSA USA and FPWR have collaborated to make it easy to contact your representative about a very important issue affecting the PWS community, and that is cuts to the NIH, or the National Institutes of Health. So we will have a link in the show notes where you can find a pre-written letter to share with your representative. And you're simply going to type in your name, your street address, your zip code, phone, email, and then you hit send, and it sends the letters. And we encourage those who are concerned to please contact their representatives and tell them. And if you want to call your representative and read them the letter, you can do that as well. So part of the letter, what we're asking is to please protect medical research and take action to ensure that NIH funding remains intact and that medical research remains a national priority. We ask that you oppose any further cuts to NIH funding and restore recent reductions, support legislation that ensures stable and sufficient funding for rare disease research, and advocate for transparency and accountability in the decision-making process affecting clinical trials. So again, you can find a link to learn more about this issue and send your letter in our show notes. We also want to celebrate Rare Disease Legislative Advocates State Advocacy Day in Richmond, Virginia. So last week, Charles Conway and 25 other advocates from all over the state of Virginia met with over 40 members of the Virginia General Assembly to advocate on a variety of rare disease issues, including newborn screening, prior authorization, and medical debt collection practices. Their willingness and vulnerability to share their experiences, issues, and concern were very impactful in helping to inform the legislators and obtain their support. As a result, all three bills passed the Virginia House of Delegates, and the fight continues in the Senate. May this and other advocacy efforts continue throughout the United States so the rare disease, especially PWS community, can be intentionally considered in future state policy and appropriations to ensure this not-so-rare population is served well. And as always, thank you to all of the PWS advocates who continue to show up in support of our community. On to our next advocacy story. PWS awareness heads to Wall Street and Times Square. So ringing the NASDAQ closing bell on Wall Street is an incredible opportunity to highlight a company's achievement and bring awareness to important topics like PWS. On February 13th, 2025, PWSA USA CEO Stacy Ward, our Director of Community Engagement Dorothea Lance, and FPWR's Executive Director Susan Hedstrom joined Aardvark Therapeutics in this iconic ceremony. This honor was in recognition of Aardvark's IPO, which is an initial public offering, a term used when a private company first sells shares of its stock to the public on the stock exchange. According to an article from Fierce Biotech, the IPO should bring in gross proceeds of $94.2 million. The article also states Aardvark's intention as, quote, to use the proceeds to advance the clinical development of ARD-101. ARD-101 is a trial drug targeting hyperphagia in individuals with PWS. Along with the opportunity to attend the bell ringing ceremony, Stacy and Dorothea were featured on the NASDAQ Times Square billboard. And so there will be a link in our show notes to see the video of these exciting events. And we'd also like to include in this section our PWSA memory for this pulse because it relates. So, not so long ago, when we talked about Prader-Willi syndrome, the response was often, Prader what? But thanks to years of dedication from families, advocates, and PWSA USA supporters, awareness has grown, sometimes in big, visible ways. So in 2008, 3-year-old Zach Bassell, who has PWS, rang the New York Stock Exchange on May 30th during PWS Awareness Month, making a proud moment for our community. Each awareness effort made by the PWS community has helped shift the conversation, bringing us closer to a future where PWS is widely understood. And that momentum continued this past week, as we saw with Stacy and Doro and Susan being there to participate in the bell ringing ceremony.
It was such an amazing thing to watch live, Annie. I don't know if you were able to do so, but they talked so much about Prader-Willi syndrome, again, on a national scale. It was on MSNBC, giant,
Wow.
well-watched channels, and streamed on NASDAQ's Facebook page, on their website. And they talked about, again, Prader-Willi syndrome and what it is and how it affects our families and loved ones. And then to see the Aardvark CEO go up and talk about his love for helping patients, especially the PWS community. And then to see Stacy and Dorothea and Susan rush on to the stage to cheer and help, ring the bell was something to witness. So again, I completely encourage everyone to go watch that video. It speaks volumes to the awareness that we're seeing out there right now. And
I love that.
yeah.
That's incredible that it was on all
Mhm.
those. Well, yeah, when I tuned in, they were all just standing there clapping. So I don't really know what goes on at that thing. So I will definitely go back and watch it because that sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's something new that watch for the first time. I definitely don't seek out bell ringing ceremonies on my downtime, but it it was very cool to witness. All right. So moving on now to our family support section. We're going to start by celebrating National Caregivers Day, which happened last Friday, February 21st. We would love to take a moment to honor the caregivers in our loved ones' lives. Caregivers are a critical piece to helping our loved ones with PWS live successful lives. Whether those caregivers come into our home or meet our loved ones in the community, their attention to their safety, dedication to their needs and development, and pursuit of our loved ones' happiness is a balm to the challenges of this disorder. For every caregiver who comes into our lives, whether for a brief period or for decades, we are truly grateful for them. To read suggestions on how to thank the caregivers in your life, even though National Caregiver Day has come and gone, it is important to do this any day of the week at any time in the year. So we encourage you to still do this, even though the day has passed. Self-care for you as a caregiver and a list of the possible types of caregivers your loved one may encounter. Please visit the link in our show notes.
Yeah, our work group had suggested we have a list of the different types of caregivers as a way to, well, a few things. One, to just kind of show all the ways that we have caregivers in our lives, but also as a way to educate parents on what they can ask for.
Mhm.
And so maybe they don't realize that certain types of these caregivers are available. So hopefully this list helps parents understand the different types of caregivers and what they can ask for and where they can get help.
Absolutely. That was a great suggestion by our volunteers.
And if you want to join our work group, you can
We're
email.
always going to put in a shameless plug for that whenever it gets brought up.
Yeah. If you would like to join our work group for communications, you can just email communications@pwsausa.org. We're growing. We're having some great
We
conversations.
are. We're growing and we have some dads in the group now. I've been wanting dads in the group for so long. So you made that happen, Annie. I appreciate it. All these call outs. All right. So moving on now to our Ask Nurse Lynn of the week. This question was submitted for a female, 58 years old, with an unknown subtype. The question submitted was, my daughter turned 58 on January 14th. I am interested in any information on older PWS persons. She lives in Canada. We have no APWSA anymore. She seems to be having issues with memory, confabulation, and possibly early dementia. Is that normal? And Nurse Lynn gave a great response to this, and we will have the link to her response in our show notes. And as always, if you have a question for Nurse Lynn, we encourage you to submit that in the Ask Nurse Lynn form, which can either be found at the bottom of the most recent article or just on our website at Ask Nurse Lynn.
Okay, so now for research. So the first one is in regards to the Global PWS Registry, which many of you have heard about. If not, definitely check out the link to learn more. There's a new project that seeks to identify characteristics that predict challenging behaviors in PWS. A new study by Dr. David Evans at Bucknell University aims to identify early risk factors for certain behavioral challenges in PWS. The project will examine how behaviors may change over time within each individual and across age and genetic subtypes. Parents are asked to complete surveys 3 times over a year. Information from the study will help identify the earliest signs of challenging behaviors in PWS so they can be addressed as soon as possible and support parents and clinicians in developing earlier and more individualized interventions. Seeking caregivers of people with PWS ages 2 plus to complete the 6 surveys today, then again in 6 months and 12 months for a total of 3 times. Responses will help identify the earliest signs of challenging behaviors with the goal of identifying those at highest risk who might benefit most from individualized interventions and management. And again, we will have a link to that in the show notes. You can learn more about the study and how you can participate. We have another survey to learn more about twins and PWS. So PWSA USA is collaborating with PWSA UK to explore the genetic and environmental factors influencing PWS by examining twins, both fraternal and identical. By comparing identical twins who share the same genetic makeup with fraternal twins who share 50% of their genes, the study could help differentiate between innate genetic factors and environmental influences on behavioral traits, health conditions, and neurodevelopment in PWS. This research could provide valuable insights into whether key characteristics of the syndrome, such as food-seeking behavior, cognitive impairments, and obesity, are primarily driven by genetics or shaped by environmental factors. We are asking parents of twins, of whom at least one has PWS, to fill out the survey link in our show notes.
And finally, our PWSA USA announcements section. We currently have a call for nominations to PWSA USA's Board of Directors. We are looking for bright, motivated people who think clearly and creatively, work well with others, and are sensitive to different points of view, and who are dedicated to improving the lives of individuals with PWS and their families. The following areas have been identified as priorities for additional bench strength: human resources, just generally, philanthropy, fund development, research expertise, medical expertise, legal expertise, and/or financial expertise. And if you have one of these specialized skills or know someone else who does, these would also be great contributions to the board of directors: communications and media, website, research, or financial expertise. Or do you simply have a passion, dedication, and follow through to bring to a committee? To learn more about committee work or to learn how your specialized skill set can help families and professionals, please contact our CEO, Stacey Ward, at sward, W-A-R-D, at pwsausa.org. And to nominate yourself or someone else for the board of directors, you can contact Lisa Graziano, Leadership Development Committee Chair, at LisaGrazianoLMF T at gmail.com. And we will have those emails in the show notes as well. And as always, we're going to end here on a PWSA USA resource spotlight. And this week, we're spotlighting our Raise Your Voice Advocacy Toolkit. The Raise Your Voice Advocacy Toolkit was created by Patients Rising Now with contributions from PWSA USA's Director of Community Engagement, Dorothea Lance. It provides tools and tips on how to be an effective advocate. This toolkit covers meetings with and hosting an elected official, writing and calling elected officials, writing an effective op-ed, participating in a drug utilization review board, speaking at a town hall, and testifying at a committee hearing. There are many ways to advocate for your loved one and the PWS community. You can read through this toolkit to learn effective ways to do just that, which you can find at the link in our show notes. And if you have any questions or are already ready to dive into advocacy, please email advocacy@pwsausa.org. And what a perfect spotlight with Rare Disease Week this week. Encourages people to share their stories and tell them how to do it. I love it. All right, Annie. Well, that's our pulse today. Do you have any mission moments that you want to share?
I think my mission moment is just the fierceness of PWS advocates and their willingness to traipse across the country and show up in DC and speak out for our community. So I just want to give a big shout out and words of encouragement and all of that to our advocates in DC and our advocates around the country, and just remind you all that we have a voice and we need to use them. And like Terry Wilcox said, you got to tell them what to do, talking about Congress people, because they get faced with a lot of issues. So I appreciate the people who are there showing up, telling them what to do, and just want to encourage you all to please join in the letter writing campaign, join in a call campaign of your own, show up at their local offices. Let's just keep this advocacy going and just really fight for the services for the rare disease community, because they're pretty critical.
Very critical. Absolutely. And we encourage you too to, again, go to our Rare Disease Day resource hub and just at minimum learn the importance of Rare Disease Day, and just simply download a graphic and share it to your social media. Just any way to help spread awareness throughout the year, but also, this week with Rare Disease Day being on Friday, we just encourage you to do what you can and do what you're willing to do. That's all we can ask. So thank you in advance. Thank you for listening to this episode of PWS United. If you want to learn more about Prader-Willi syndrome and how PWSA USA is making strides in advocacy, family support, and research, visit www.pwsausa.org. And while you're there, we encourage you to sign up for our Pulse email newsletter to stay informed about the latest news, resources, and events. Don't forget to subscribe to the PWS United podcast so you never miss an episode. Our team is always available to support families and their loved ones living with PWS 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You can call us at 941-312-0400 or email info@pwsausa.org. Catch a new episode next Tuesday, and until then, have a great week.